Hey, how's it going, folks? My name's T-Brick, and today we're going to be covering some new tech. All right, a whole lot of new tech in this video. If you like this kind of content, please give me a like, give me a sub. It goes a long way for a new channel. So the first thing that I want to introduce to everyone is not, before we jump into the abyssal hordes and how you can push some serious numbers. First thing I want to show is bit of a minor discovery, but it goes a long way. If you run Gravebind, right, this is like, how much is something like this, like 50C? You can run Obliteration on your Kineticist. This is like a 1C unique. It's not that expensive. Oh, it looks like it actually, let's see, non-corrupted. Oh, it's got white sockets, that's why. Yeah, it's pretty common, right? It's a very common unique. But what it can do is enemies you kill have a 20% chance to explode, dealing a quarter of their maximum life as chaos damage. And that's like almost as good as an ascendancy, right? That's a crazy, just to be able to get a free explode on all enemies you kill. Pretty good. I got like an explode chest as well. Goes a long way. You combine the two of these, very nice. Huge performance increase in your maps, especially if you're running beyond, which is part of what's in this strategy. Now I got the Regex in the link below. It's a very strict Regex. It's going to show 180 plus Scarab maps, and it's going to show 220 plus currency maps, right? So when you get your Scarab maps, you're going to want to put them to the side, all right? Your currency maps, you won't put them to the side. You're going to run two separate strategies to get the most out of both of them, right? So when you're running your Scarab maps, this is what your tree is going to look like. I actually do want to unallocate this. Yeah, this is what your tree is going to look like. Just like the other video, you're going to put your Scarab chisels on them. It's worth it. It's EV positive, right? You're going to make more currency despite the investment. And you're going to run them probably around like 7 to 8-ish minutes, pretty quick, and this is very rewarding. This alone is a 50 divine an hour strategy. Now this other strategy, what we're doing is we're dropping all the Scarab nodes, we're going and we're respecking, we're getting all of the extra abyssal monsters, we're getting even more abyssal monsters here, full Eldritch altar packs, and we're going for beyond. Right, we're combining it with beyond, and the thing is, you got a couple nodes here, right, that make it so that your pits have a chance to spawn 5 additional rare monsters. When this procs, I mean, normally you would hear the tinks. That's the sound that you're hearing when loot drops. But actually, with this strategy, you want to take your headset off, because you're going to know when loot's going to drop when your computer starts spinning up, all right? So this build or this strategy, it's going to test your build, and it's going to test your computer, all right? So fair disclosure, it's going to get a little hot. Now, as far as the Scarabs go, if you are running just the Scarab maps, you can do 4 risk Scarabs, all right? I found that to be the best. I've tried 2 Abyss, I've tried 1 Abyss, whole lot of testing. You don't need to run delirium on them. But if you are running the currency strat, I highly recommend putting in the delirium orbs. They are a bit expensive now. The price has gone up, but it's still worth it. All right, it's still worth it. So either way, both strats ends up being about 2 divines per map, right? So and that's like including the Scarab costs and a couple other things, somewhere around 2 to 2.5 divines per map. But the main showcase for today is the Abyss with Wisps as well, and the Beyond strategy here, right? So we're gonna go ahead and jump into this map just to showcase what kind of stuff you're dealing with. And again, you really you can just use the normal chisels for these maps. If I had to guess, we're saying somewhere around 1 in 8 maps. You know, based off of the data that I ran, 1 in 8 maps drops the Sacred Orb. That's a 1 in 160 map mirror, right? I dropped 2 locks yesterday doing this, and I will say, this strategy is probably the most challenging strategy I've ran this league so far. It is like almost every inch of the map is a battlefield. You know, there's just so many mobs. We got our first tink. We got Dragon's Heart. Not shabby. Go ahead and clear that. Now, because so many things are spawning like on top of each other, you really don't want to be like killing everything. You want to be kiting, right? You want to be keeping your tempo up and moving quickly through the map. You want to try to find your business as fast as possible, because the faster you can run this strat, the more you're gonna make, right? The more you're gonna make. I've been doing these, like including heading back to town and selling everything, in about like 9.5–10 minutes. I would really like to see, you know, some like high-end farmers, some other builds try this strat and see what kind of currency they're pulling in. Not seeing a lot of abysses here. Oh, wait a minute. Am I still on the right one? I am on the right one. Okay, okay. For a second, I thought I was on the wrong tree, but now we're good. We got Exalt. Get another Exalt. Whole lot of monsters. And if you can run this build with like 80% delirium, 100% delirium, it just gets better and better. But there's like the time investment, right? That becomes the main obstacle. So yeah, as you can see, it's just, there's a lot of loot dropping, but holy, it is challenging, right? There's a lot going on. We get another Exalt, so third one. Now you can run this in a party, and I think you get a full party going, you're gonna be dropping a lot of loot, like a lot of loot. It might be one in like 30 maps mirror, if you got a 6-man. But of course, surviving these maps. Now, Kosis, I will say, he is the run ender in some cases. If your map is really bad and he's wisped and delirious, like he will seriously test your build and survivability. You want to make sure you have the damage for it and the survivability for it. All right, we got to define. You get a lot of uniques doing this as well. I've dropped several T0s, lots of T1s. I think so far I've dropped like 4 or 5 T0s. The span of like around 20 hours of trying this strat, so pretty good. And you do want to wait as much as you can so that the spire will spawn the extra hordes. Alright, we cleared that one. We're jumping through. Head on over here. Let's get the abyss going. Yeah, as you can see, my build starts to not be ideal here, just because there's so many goons. It gets pretty tough to actually just even click the hordes. So still looking around, trying to see what other builds might be worth, what might be nice to swap into. And I will say I have tried running this with 2 Wisp Scarabs. It didn't seem to give as much of a return. That's pretty lucky getting a containment there. Yeah, 571 currency, 387 quant. But yeah, the extra pack size and quantity seems to go a long way, especially when dealing with Beyond. Steady, gonna drop a portal here. Let this guy spawn out. Didn't roll too well on the fracture. Got another quantity altar, amazing. I ran 2 test maps before, and both of the test maps dropped the Sacred Orbs, so I'm not too hopeful on dropping much this map, but I mean, still we're getting pretty solid results. Now I think you're gonna, in terms of raw currency, you're gonna drop like on average, maybe like 30 divines worth of loot, 30 to 40 per hour. I think with normalization though, for mirrors and locks, you're looking at over 100 div an hour. And yeah, like, so yesterday I was running this, I farmed around 600 divines in about 10 hours, and that's with 2 lock drops. So not bad, not too shabby. And that includes rolling maps, right? So spent a good bit of time rolling maps as well. And that probably made one of the biggest differences too. Making sure you just have like good maps, and you don't settle for like a 180 currency map. Yeah, as you can see, it's spawning it's still spawning a bunch of monsters, and I can tell because when I walk over it, it gives me gold. That's a pretty good way to be able to tell. Whole bunch of monsters from the Abyss, procs all the Beyond. They're all nice and wisped up. Going steady, don't really care about this guy. Actually, we're just gonna hop out. I'm gonna portal out off to the next map. All right, so that's the strat, right? Pretty straightforward. 1 Beyond of Evasion, 1 Wisp Scarab, 1 Edifice, and 2 risks. High currency. I'm gonna have the atlas in the link below. That quick map, 100 Chaos Orbs. 100 Chaos Orbs in a map, right? I'm generally speaking averaging around like 85-ish. I think my record was like 130. This is dropping so much raw currency, it's ridiculous. So very high quality strat. If your build can handle it, be warned, it's a pretty difficult strat. We have a buddy here, he just dropped his first mirror. That's amazing. Okay, so, and he's running the strat that I posted the other week, right? So this shit works, guys. This shit works. Give it a shot and make sure to like and sub. It really goes a long way. All right, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.